Today we're going to review how we implemented lean practice of TAC planning on our project. First, an introduction to TAC planning. We'll briefly define what it is and why it could be a game changer. Next, we'll explore how we've integrated TAC planning with our existing lean systems. We'll talk about tweaking our pull planning to integrate leveling and how we've modified our weekly wipe down boards to better sync with TAC. Then, we'll get into the meat of the project outcome. What benefits did we see? What lessons did we learn and pick up along the way? And we'll also wrap it up with a conclusion that'll tie everything together and emphasize the real takeaway here, the ongoing journey of lean innovation. So grab a seat if you don't already have one, and let's get going. First, TAC planning. Now, what is TAC planning? Well, I'm going to give you a brief description. It's a construction scheduling method borrowed from the world of manufacturing. The idea is to balance work across the board by aligning task with consistent productivity rates, also known as TAC time. By doing this, we make sure each construction phase is in sync, reducing downtime and wasted resources. And why is TAC planning so critical in construction? Well, the idea is it could take away chaos out of the equation. We've all been on projects where things are frantic, people are running around, and you're always playing catch up. With TAC planning, the idea is to help us align everyone from the trade partners to the supplier, make sure we're all on the same page. And when that happens, we can deliver a better, faster project with fewer hiccups along the way. So here at Skiles Group, lean practices are in our blood. Integrating TAC planning into our existing system posed an interesting challenge. It wasn't a rip it up and start over situation, but rather finding that missing puzzle piece. Now, did we get it perfect right out of the gate? No. But that's not the point. Lean is all about continuous improvement. TAC planning gave us a unique opportunity to level up. It's been an insightful journey, and that's what we're going to unpack next. Adjusting the pull plan for leveling integration. Pull planning is one of the cornerstones of lean practices here at Skiles Group. If you're not familiar, a quick rundown of what this is. We invite trade partners to meet prepared and ready, having studied the blueprints and the scope of their duration of work. Then they fill out cards that pull activities from reverse order, from the final coat of paint all the way back to starting grading in the dirt. We don't do this for the whole project at once, but we break it down into manageable milestones. Trade partners put up their cards in a sequence working backward from the end goal to the starting point. Now, adding TAC planning to this tried and true method requires some fine tuning. It wasn't perfect the first time, but it's all about learning process. We found that leveling system is where the real innovation comes in. We identify activities that can be done simultaneously. Think overhead MEP systems. These are bundled together into what we call a work package. Based on these packages, we determine the TAC time, which could be 3, 4, or 5 days. Then we sit down with those trades involved in each packet and we align on the days and the resources needed. This has added a whole new layer of depth to our planning, especially when it comes to precision around handoffs between trade. That's an area where we see ample room for improvement, and we'll dive deeper into that towards the end of the video. Modifying our lean wipe down boards for better TAC system integration. Another key aspect of our lean approach is our weekly wipe down meetings. If you're not familiar, here's a quick snapshot. We meet once a week for about an hour to go over a couple key things. First, we score our completion task for that past week. We calculate out the percentage of the plan complete. Then we look ahead to the next 3 weeks to plan out our activities, constraints, safety topics, and upcoming deliveries and inspections. This isn't just a general huddle, it's a focused session where our last planners give us a granular look at the next week's activities. So when it came to adapting our weekly wipe down meetings for TAC, we focused primarily on the board structure. Originally, these boards were designed around CPM planning methods, as outlined in the Lean Builder Book. But TAC planning has a different structure, so we needed to modify the boards to match. We rearranged them to go vertically, 1 week at the top, followed by the second week and the third week at the bottom. Think of each board as a TAC wagon, capturing all the constraints, details, manpower for the week's activities. Then, just like our traditional meetings, we could score those specifics. This way, our board system now aligns seamlessly with the TAC planning, making our meetings more efficient and more focused. Benefits realized. So what did we actually gain from diving into TAC planning? First of all, the new leveling adoption to the pull planning was really an eye-opener. It offered us a unique way to structure our schedules, helping us to understand which activities can be paired and which can't. Plus, the ability to align manpower with square footage in a project also has contributed to our knowledge. But don't overlook the wipe down cards. Before, we'd have to rework those boards every week. Now, if we stick to the plan, those cards don't change. That's been a massive time saver. And the clincher, multiple trades now can update their boards simultaneously. Lessons learned. So what are our lessons learned? First off, we now grasp how critical handoffs are between activities, something we honestly underestimated in our initial foray into TAC planning. There are instances where tasks spilling over into other zones created a bit of chaos. Sure, we adapted, but going forward, we're zeroing in on these handoffs. The second lesson involves work packets. TAC planning gives us this great flexibility to adapt within the taxed time, but we realized we needed to get more specific. Some activities within the work packet need individual attention, especially when you're trying to align every cog in the machine. In conclusion, so what's the big takeaway from diving into TAC planning on a project as complex as ours? First, TAC planning isn't a one-size-fits-all. It's flexible enough to tackle a wide range of projects. I mean, look at this one. Shelf spaces, lab, pharmacy, interior renovation, MEP systems that stretched across the campus, and the list goes on. No two sections of this building were alike, yet the TAC planning held its ground. But let us not forget what is at the core of this entire video: the spirit of continuous improvement. That's at the heart of everything lean. Whether you're a lean rookie or you're a seasoned pro like us here at Skiles Group, the focus should always be on the journey, not just hitting some imaginary finish line. We're all about tweaking, refining, pushing the boundaries of every lean method we adopt. Because in the end, it's not about TAC planning experience, it's about our relentless pursuit of doing things better.